y'all, good evening. This is Homebody. Long time no see. I said this long time no see phrase earlier today, but I scrapped that video. I may still put it up, I'm not sure, but long time no see. I have an update of sorts. I had to get a new car, so my car started making this noise. The engine was really loud. It started making this like a clicking noise, and I said, you know what, I'm not taking it to the shop. I'm done. So the car, I didn't trade it in. It's sitting out front. My son may want to fix it. That's what he told me. He said he wants to fix it, and I told him to save his money. So I'm not going to sell him the vehicle. I said, you save your money, you fix it, I'll let you use it. You know, I didn't want to get rid of it. Otherwise I would have traded it in, but I wanted to keep it for right now. Just to kind of, like, when I'm gone, I don't want people to know that there's no one here. You know, it's like a part of it. It's like, if there's another car here right out front, maybe people won't think that the house is totally empty when we're gone. You know, I don't know. That's just my thought process. But I'm not sure I'm going to keep it forever. But for right now, I wanted to keep it, even with it not. It runs, like, it starts up fine. I can move it, that kind of stuff. But it's just super loud. And the check engine light is not on yet. But I'm sure it'll be on soon if we're to keep being driven. But right now, it's just sitting out front. I got a new used car, so I have a video that I actually recorded today, but I'm not sure I'm going to use that one or if I'm going to redo it and show it to you guys. So I just want to make sure, like, I feel like I rushed it, so I want to look at it a little bit later and see, you know, and if not, I'll just re-record it next week, okay? But I did want to come on here. I did go see the Hunger Games on Friday, okay? It was so good. And I used to be a reader, okay? So this used to be like one of my favorite things to do was read. This is, of course, before technology and before school. And I think that between being a college student and technology, number one, when you're in school, like, you have to do a lot of reading, right? So you have to do a lot of, like, reading of textbooks and a lot of writing and that kind of stuff. And I think that kind of burnt me out to some degree. And then with technology, it's almost like I can't focus on reading anymore when I can just watch a video, right? So it just, I'm not a reader like I used to be. I'll still kind of read, like, news articles here and there, you know, and stuff like that, but I'm not, you know, like, I started a couple of books. I started this book right here called Cover Your Eyes. It's so good, but I cannot, and I started it while I was on vacation in Orlando, and I started it, and you can see where I stopped at, right there where my cover is, where my bookmark is, and I have not finished it. And I had another book. Where is it? It was like it's like a true crime story, and I think I put it in my little library area where all my other books are. I think I moved it out because I haven't went back to it yet, so I just don't have the focus like I used to. But anyway, Hunger Games is a book. I said all that to say, Hunger Games is a book, right? And this is one of those books that I would probably read if I was a reader, okay? If I was one of those people, but I can't. And I've read long books before. Like, I read, like, Flowers in the Attic when I was, like, in high school, okay? There was a girl that was reading it. She and I, we had, like, a common interest in books. And she was the only child, so she would get money and she would buy books. And after she was done, she would pass them off. So I read the whole series because of her. And after we weren't in school anymore, I think I finished it out at myself going to the library. But Flowers in the Attic is like a 5-6 books, you know, so there's like a whole set. Like, it takes you, if you ever watch the movie Flowers in the Attic, that's a book. It starts off with Flowers in the Attic, but it takes you from their childhood all the way up into their senior years. So it's not just one book. Like, there's Flowers in the Attic, If There Be Thorns, Seeds of Yesterday, I can't remember them all, but there's like I said, there's a whole lot of books. Okay. And I've done series like that before, that VC Andrews. She has some pretty good series if you ever get a chance. And of course, I think that she still has books. She passed away. She passed away really, really young. But she has someone that writes under her name now. But I haven't really. I mean, honestly, she was the best. She was the best. And a person that writes under her name now, I think their family chose someone that writes under her name, but it's clearly not her writing. You know, you can tell the difference in style. But she was really, really good with writing those series. She has a few different series like that where it starts off talking about this girl and her family and talks about like generations from there. Like she has a lot of books just like that. And a lot of those books, like I said, they're like sets of like 5 and 6. Like if you want to, you know, get into a good book series, that's a good one. I read this book series called, I think I mentioned this before. It's called, dang it, I just had it on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, there's another book series. The last book series I read was about not even 10 years ago. Not quite 10 years ago. And I didn't read it like paper. I didn't read it like a book. Like I read it on my tablet, on my Kindle. And what was it called? I can't think of the name. But anyway, it's like 5, 6 books. And it's really good because it kind of is about the last days, right? And there's a group of people who God put on earth. They have certain powers and stuff. And it's like revelations, right? And they have like fallen angels that are trying to be good. And it's a really good, like it mixes like biblical stuff, like not really biblical, right? But it's totally fiction, right? But it's like, if you're into like that kind of stuff, it's really good. It's the Soul Keepers. That's what it's called. The Soul Keepers. And it's written for like teenagers. It's a really easy read. Really easy. So if you're not like someone that's super like intellectual, it's really easy to read, but it's exciting. It's like an adventure type, you know, book series. And it's really good. So that was the last time I read like a series like that. But anyway, all that to say, Hunger Games, okay? So, of course, we saw the 3 Hunger Games Mockingjay movies, right? If you didn't see it, watch them, okay? This 4th movie in the franchise is a prequel, right? So, of course, Hunger Games is more like present time. Now, it's not present time because it's like future based, right? It's like not like 2023. It's based in way advanced times, right? This particular movie called Hunger Games, The Ballad of the Songbirds and Snakes. Let me pull it up. It is a prequel. So it discusses President Snow, Cornelius Snow. It discusses his time as a youth before he became president. Okay, it is so good. It was good. It was good. So let me look it up. And I'm going to, like I said, I can't remember the full movie. I'm not going to be able to. The movie was almost 3 hours, okay? And I was like, should I go by myself? I have no problem going to a movie by myself. I've done it before. But typically with movies that long, it's nice to have someone with you. And the reason why is because if you get up, you want to use the bathroom, you may want somebody there that's going to watch the stuff, right? Or at least tell you what happened, what you missed while you were at the bathroom, right? So, but it was really good. I did miss a certain part, and I got filled in to some degree, you know. But I think I was only gone for like I was quick, and where we sat at was you know how you go into the movie theater, and I made a left down the first row, and up. So where the exit was at, I was on a totally the opposite side, and we went all the way up to the top. So to leave out to use the bathroom, I had to walk all the way down, across the row, and out. So, and then thank goodness the bathroom was like right next door. So I think I was gone probably maybe not even 5 minutes, but I missed. I think I went at a good time because I don't think I missed that much. But there are certain things that I was like, well, how did that happen? You know, that I missed. But it's okay. But anyway, Hunger Games takes place like in the very, very beginning of the movie. We see a young Snow. So a little boy and we find out it's his cousin. We find out that his cousin, now I'm not sure how much they stuck to the book. I don't know if they kind of took their own liberties and tweaked things just for movie purposes. But we find out in this movie that Tigress, and if you saw the third Hunger Games movie, right? Tigress was on Katniss's side. Like she was like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna help y'all, right? Because she kind of helped them hide for a little bit, right? But Tigress is President Snow's cousin, and she was normal looking. So if you ever watch the Hunger Games, you know Tigress looks like a cat. Like she had like augmentation to look like a cat. Like she actually had surgery, right? She's a normal girl in this movie. And of course she's older than Snow. She's probably, if I had to guess, she may be, let's say, 3 to 4 years older. Not quite, you know, not that much older, but older, like his older cousin. So Tigress is President Snow's cousin. Who would have guessed it? Who would have thought, right? But anyway, he's about maybe like 7, 8 years old, right? And they're out and like they're looking for food and stuff with his cousin, and it's cold, and they see this man chopping at this dead guy in the snow, and Cornelius is like, why is he doing that? And Tigress is saying he's hungry, so people are out trying to get food and stuff. So he goes home. His grandmother tells him that his dad died. So apparently Cornelius's dad was a captain or something in the military, right? And so there's been an uprising. This is when the uprising started, right? There's been an uprising. He was killed or whatever. So it kind of speeds you up, right, into time. And Cornelius, although his family is kind of like rich, he's on the verge. They're on the verge. Like they're hanging on by a thread, okay? And, you know, he is able to portray to some degree that he still has the money that they used to have, but it's pretty obvious to the viewer. Like we can look and see that his house isn't as nice, you know, like his clothes, that kind of stuff. They don't have a lot of food or whatever. And he's going to the school. So his idea, I guess, is to finish school and get a good position in the capital, and that way he can kind of restore some of his family's wealth or whatever. So he goes to the school, and he's one of the like graduating class, and the Hunger Games is in its, I want to say its 10th year. So give me 1 minute. Yes, it's in its 10th annual year. So it's still in the early stages compared to when we saw the previous set of movies, right? So they are basically saying that no one's watching the Hunger Games, and they want to kind of get more viewership, right? And so what they decide to do is, with the graduating class, they have the people in the class, which Cornelius Snow is in that graduating class. They say that we're going to assign each of you a tribute, and it's your job to nurture that tribute and bring a lot of attention, you know, to that tribute, and try and get the ratings back or whatever to watching the show. That's basically the premise of the movie. So Cornelius Snow gets assigned to what part do you think, district does he get assigned to? 12, which is Katniss's district, right? Yes. So he gets assigned to a girl in District 12, okay? And he of course Tigress is helping. Like he's like, I don't know how, like, was she want to talk to me? Like they don't like us. And Tigress is like, look, hey, you know, show interest in her, you know, like show that you're, you know, wanting to help her and all that kind of stuff. And they kind of showed the person he's assigned to, which is Lucy Gray. he they kind of show a little bit about her, like when she gets picked at the reaping or whatever. And apparently, like I did not know this. That this does not happen in the previous Hunger Games movies, where they actually have mayors in the districts. Okay, so I'm guessing that the mayors have some power and some control over their district, and they fix these reapings where they get people that they don't like out. Okay, they get them to go to the Hunger Games. So she was picked on purpose because the mayor's daughter and her had an issue with one of the boys or whatever. So because of that, that's how Lucy Gray's name gets picked to go into the Hunger Games, right? And you can tell that a lot of the kids, they get picked on purpose. So for example, there's a little girl that has tuberculosis. I didn't know this until at the actual Hunger Games, when the what you call it, the host, like the game, it's basically, the Hunger Games is basically like it's a game show, right? Basically, even though they're fighting for their lives. But the game show host, he actually says it like she has TB. And I'm like, oh, I know she was sick, but I didn't know she had TB. So there was a little girl that had Down syndrome. So it seems like the mayors of these districts, they're actually like fixing the like, you know, the lottery, like when names get picked, they're fixing it so that they can get like their sicker, weaker, or disliked people out of the district. Okay, so a lot of these kids are maybe considered undesirable, which is really awful. So so what happens basically, I'm going to cut to the chase, right? What happens basically is that Cornelius Snow starts to fall for Lucy Gray. That's basically what happens in a nutshell. And he's kind of like fighting in between, like, it seems like there's a battle within him, like right and wrong, right? Like love and prominence, right? And that's what he's battling against. One of his classmates actually knows one of the kids in the Hunger Games, and he feels a deep connection with him. And this guy is like beaten up and killed, and he like mourns, and people in the district, the rich fancy people, they're like, how, you know, like, we gotta get him up out of here. Like, they have Cornelius Snow like go get him, because they can't be having that, you know, happen and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, there isn't during the Hunger Games, Lucy Gray, they kind of start coming after her, the other kids that are, of course, fighting for their lives. And in a nutshell, he kind of cheats for her to help her survive, and she does end up surviving or whatever. He gets caught, of course. They find out that he did cheat, and they send him off to do, he's sentenced to 27, I think it's 20, how many years is he sentenced? Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, 20 years. He's sentenced to 20 years as a peacekeeper. And they were going to send him to, I think, 2 or 8. And he bribes them to send him to 12. Okay? So basically, Lucy wins the Hunger Games, but he never sees her. He doesn't know for sure if they, you know, did something to her, or if, you know, she actually was sent back home to her district. So he's curious about that. So because he's sentenced to peacekeeping, he bribes them to send him to 12. So he goes to 12. He sees her. They start a romance. And of course, the guy, I'm sorry. Shoot. There's a guy in his class that, like I said, mourned the other guy that got killed. So there's like, this is the thing. People are separated by wealth, right? So there are people who know, there's people in the capital that know people from the districts. They used to be like, you know, able to interact with each other. But because of the rebellion and the things that happened, they're separated, right? So he has one classmate who is very like, you know, like, we need to help them and that kind of stuff. So this particular classmate ends up going with him to 12 because of, the issues he was having with the Hunger Games, he also got sentenced to go to peacekeeping. And when he finds out that Cornelius is going to 12, he goes to 12 too. And so his name is Sejanus. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but Sejanus ends up going with him. So Sejanus ends up trying to help the rebels in District 12, and Cornelius records him talking about helping the rebels, and he sends it to the doctor in the Capitol that was like the creator of the games. Okay, and what happens during the midst of all that is that Cornelius shoots and kills the mayor's daughter because she had threatened to tell on them. And then another guy shoots the mayor's daughter's boyfriend, and they cover it up. So although Sejanus is guilty of trying to help the rebels, he didn't kill anybody. And they end up hanging Sejanus and the other guy that's left, and Cornelius escapes free from all of that, although he's the reason why they got killed, basically. So it's almost like presidents, like, you want to like side with him, like he's doing right, nice by helping Lucy Gray and all that, but he's not a good person, So and of course it's an awful position to be in, because he's let's say he's 18, 19 years old. This is a age where you do need guidance. This is an age where you don't probably need to be seeing kids fight to the death, because you're desensitized to some degree, right? So he's in a way a victim of circumstance as well, right? But we're all responsible, for ourselves, and to some degree we're responsible for the next person too. So, anyway, he and Lucy plan to go away, okay? So they meet, they go far, far away outside of the district boundaries, and they see this cabin. Inside the cabin, he finds the weapons that were used, or that they were trying to hide away as the rebels, right? And so, Lucy leaves out. She asks him about how many people he killed, and he doesn't tell her the right amount of people, because he actually killed somebody in the Hunger Games, okay? So when he was trying to get Sejanus out, because Sejanus was grieving that boy that got killed in the Hunger Games, they started coming after them, and he actually killed somebody in the Hunger Games. I don't think he ever told Lucy about that one. And of course, when you see a 3-hour movie, and like I said, I missed some stuff going to the restroom. But I would love to watch the movie again. I would like to see it again just to kind of get the details down a little bit more. But he wasn't totally truthful with Lucy, and Lucy kind of questions him about it, and then she leaves out in the rain to go and get some fish or something to eat or something. And it's almost like he's questioning, like, and she's like, no, you can trust me. And then he's like, it's raining out, and she's like, I won't melt. So it's almost like, is she planning on like betraying him or whatever? So he goes out to look for her, and he sees, like, he gave her his mom's cloak, and he sees it, and underneath the cloak there's a snake, and he gets bitten. So he's like, are you trying to kill me, Lucy? Where are you, Lucy? So he's looking for her. He starts shooting around. He sees her running. When he goes to the spot where he shot at, she's not there, but her jewelry, I think it was an earring or something, that was in the ground, and he can't find her. So what he does is he has the guns that he found inside of the cabin. He takes them out in a boat, and he dumps them out in the water. He goes back to his station. The person in charge of the peacekeepers in District 12 thought that he was, did a good job, and he was going to transfer him back to the Capitol, to a different district, so he can get some training. And what actually happens is that the doctor at the Capitol, who is running the Hunger Games and doing all the experiments and stuff, she actually tells him that he actually is going to train under her, and that Sejanus, the guy that was his friend and classmate that got killed, his dad, who is very, very wealthy, has decided to pay his tuition, and he's going to train under her. So basically, his family's wealth is restored because Sejanus, his dad, is basically going to like take him under his wing financially or whatever. And I guess through all that, like if you're trained properly and you're under the right tutelage, you're going to get a job. So, you know, there are certain things he won't have to worry about anymore. So, apparently, one of the headmasters at the school had talked to Coriolanus and was basically mocking him and saying, yeah, I heard Lucy went missing, and the rumor is that the mayor caught up with her and did something to her. But we'll never know, and that, you know, that kind of stuff will eat you alive. And he basically said that he was actually trying to stop the game. So it seemed like he was encouraging it the whole time, but he was like, he didn't want the games to do well because he wanted it to end. And the fact that Coriolanus had awesome ideas about how to improve the games, like he was feeding Lucy and encouraging the other classmates to feed their tributes because they were starving, they were sickly as it was. So how can they win? How can this be a battle if they're half sick, they're thirsty and hungry and stuff? So he was the one that set that up. He was the one that set up like getting donations and giving rewards to the tributes as they got donations and stuff. So he kind of set up a lot of stuff that advanced, of course, by the time Katniss got into the Hunger Games. So he was the mastermind behind a lot of the things that happened with the tributes kind of having certain things that they can get, you know, because remember when Katniss went to the Hunger Games, they fed them, they were in nice hotels, they had their you know, they were assigned to someone that would do their clothing, they had someone that would help them go through the Hunger Games and that kind of stuff. So he was a big reason why there were so many different changes. So yeah. So he actually killed the headmaster. He actually poisoned him. So remember, the president still uses poison a lot. He used it a few times in the Hunger Games series of the past. So he definitely likes to poison people. And there's a scene where he actually sees a rat dying because of his poison. And he gives it to Lucy to use to poison her enemies in the Hunger Games arena. And she puts it in some water, and the little girl that was sick actually drank it and died. So he does like to use poison. So he's basically becoming a serial killer. Okay? And like I said, he's a victim to some degree himself, because as a kid, being in a powerful position, like having someone's life and death in your hands is not something that anyone should take lightly. Definitely not children, right? So he's a victim of sorts, but also like he is like, this is the start of a killer. He's a lunatic, and I'm guessing also, like the headmaster said, like not knowing will make you go crazy. He doesn't know what happened to Lucy Gray at this moment of the series or the franchise. So, and this is someone that he was in love with and wanted to take back to the capital. He didn't really care about the people of the district. He just wanted, and this is also where it's almost like, I don't care about anybody else. I want what I want, right? So he wanted Lucy, but he didn't want to help the people, you know? So it was almost like, this is my project, this is what I want. But he wasn't really interested in helping the collective either. So it's almost like he doesn't know what he wants to do, but he does, right? So he wants to help himself, but he's like, look, whatever happens to other people happens to other people. So I would love to see the next movie in this franchise. Like I said, I wish I was a reader, because this would be definitely a book I would pick up and would not put down, but I would probably waste my money. I would probably waste my money, think I want to read it, and then get it and be like, all right, I lost interest. But the movie was awesome. The movie was awesome. So definitely go check it out. If you haven't seen the other 3 Hunger Games movies, go watch them now. This is the perfect time to get caught up. And then go watch the newest movie, which is Hunger Games, The Ballads of the Songbirds and Snakes. Okay? Songbird because, number one, Lucy sings. Okay? That's her talent. She does sing. Okay? And also, it also talks about those mockingjays a little bit. And the mockingjays are in this movie. And how they do studies on these different mockingjays. And this is part of the technique he used to record Sejanus, was through like the recording of the mockingjays. And he actually recorded Sejanus talking. That's how he got Sejanus all caught up. And the snakes, because during the Hunger Games, in the arena, when they were actually fighting to the death, the snakes were used to kill quite a few. And that's the part that I missed. So I left out to use the restroom at the part where Lucy was in the air vent. She had locked herself in there so the kids wouldn't get her and kill her, right? And apparently he went to the doctor that's, like I said, the creator, of these different things, Hunger Games, techniques to kill people and all this stuff. He went in there and she released the snakes because she didn't want any survivors or whatever. He actually puts Lucy's scent. He had given Lucy. This is what my mom had said, because I left out to the bathroom. He had previously used his handkerchief to let Lucy use it, so it had her scent on it. And when he went to the doctor who was going to release those snakes into the arena, he actually put the handkerchief into the snake bowl. And I guess if they know your scent, they don't attack you. So that was basically how Lucy survived the snakes. But the snakes killed quite a few people in the arena. And that's the part I missed. I missed the part where the snakes got into the arena. I didn't see that part. And I missed that the snakes killed the little girl that had Down syndrome. And I saw a little bit of the part where the main girl that was killing everybody, I missed the part that she got killed by the snakes. I saw the very end of it where she got killed, but I didn't see as much of it. And I think that the snakes killed some other people too, that I missed it. And by the time I came back, the snakes were all over Lucy. They were all over her, and she was singing. Okay, she was singing her heart out. And the reason why they didn't attack her right away was, number one, they had her scent, but also it was because she was singing. They liked her singing. So, but yeah, it's called Hunger Games, The Ballad of the Songbirds and the Snakes. Check it out, y'all. It was really good, worth watching. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.